swear to God, if anybody makes any incest jokes, I will personally see to it that you don't pull these two. Hey, it's me. Welcome back to a new 1 week later review. Yes, that's what we're calling them from now on. I'm unsure if I can get these out a week later 100% of the time, but at the very least, this one's a week later. So, if I sound sick, that's because I am. I've been sick since last week, and it's been a slow recovery, but I'm getting there. But we're not here for a personal health update, we're here for the new units that came out last week. And as your lovely, if inconsistent, reviewer, I have to give you my expert opinion on these characters. Because I can definitely be trusted. Look how well Murmura is doing as a unit compared to how I ranked her. Definitely can be trusted. Anyways, today's subject of review will be the Team Rocket of Magia record, if you would. Tsukasa and Tsukuyo Amane, twins once separated, now reunited as magical girls. As sibling characters, and characters that have a serious codependency on each other, both in-game and in story, it only makes sense that these two work well together, and they do really do their best to make each other shine. Let's see how once we get into the script review. But before that, if you like the video, drop a comment, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Now, onto the twins. The first one we'll be covering is Cherry Ballad Tsukasa Amane, as her kit gives context for Tsukuyo's. She's a 5-star light attribute debuffer who is largely focused on increasing the amount of damage the enemy takes, rather than applying an ailment like Felicia or Ren, who apply stun and wound respectively. She also gains stats based on the amount of debuffs on an enemy. This is shown with her ability, Haste Excel. It activates when 3 or more debuffs are applied to enemies, where she gains 5 MP at turn start, which to clarify, means when she acts, and when 5 or more debuffs are applied to enemies, she also increases her speed by 28%. This is a very good passive. It gives MP regeneration, which, as we know by how good Mami, Plutoka, and Kaede are, is at a premium, and speed if all conditions are met. But those are harsh conditions. Even Ren needs to trigger a follow-up attack to apply 3 different debuffs to an enemy. How does Tsukasa do it? Well, she gets a 3-in-1. Her battle skill, Luminous Refrain, deals 128 light damage to all enemies and increases the target's damage taken, light damage taken, and dark damage taken by 14%, 2 turns each, and yes, those debuffs are all separate from each other, and yes, they all stack. Hopefully you can see the niche that she's filling, aka being a great DPS increase for light and dark units. Her special supports this fact even more. Cherry Ballad deals 197 light damage to all enemies, and decreases the target's defense by 30%. Not only that, but it also removes 1 buff effect from the enemies. No more Nightmare Octavia super speeding through your team because you don't have an ailment character. Tsukasa's got you. Obviously, she's a great debuffer, arguably as good as, if not better than Ren Isuzu at A0. We don't talk about Felicia, she's the special case. If you're on the lookout for a debuffer, she's probably the best you've got right now, especially if you have DPS like Concentrated Missile Fire Homura or Ultimate Madoka. With that in mind, let's look and see how her twin compares to the, admittedly, great standard that Tsukasa's built. Cherry Blizzard Tsukuyo Amane is a 5-star dark attribute breaker who is largely focused on buffing herself via her unique magic system, built up by attacking enemies with debuffs. You can see how Tsukuyo and Tsukasa synergize already, right? Well, it only gets better. Tsukuyo's ability, Excel Breakage, grants her magic. Starting at 0, when 2 or more debuffs are applied on an enemy, and when she deals damage to them, she gets 1 magic. When 5 or more debuffs are applied to an enemy, she grants an additional 2 magic to herself and 5 MP. Her magic caps at 12. Her ability is more of a way to get up her other skills, but something notable is her magic regeneration. Just like Tsukasa, the more debuffs there are, the better her special generation will be. Blitzing past her basic attack, it just grants 1 magic to self. Her battle skill, Twilight Refrain, deals 142% dark damage to all enemies, increases the target's light and dark damage taken by 5% for 2 turns, and increases her own speed by 28%, and also grants 2 magic. Ooh boy, Tsukasa isn't the only debuffer on the team. Tsukuyo is capable of applying debuffs that are considered different than Tsukasa's. triggering both of their 5+ debuff conditionals. And she's able to speed herself up. She's got consistent break potential and can beef up your DPS. She's pretty neat. And now, the culmination of all the magic you've been building up. Cherry Blizzard deals 177% dark damage to all enemies and consumes up to 12 magic. If at 6 magic or higher, her break gauge depletion increases and she advances her own action order by 20%. At 12 magic, her break gauge depletion increases further and increases her break bonus by 60% for 2 turns, and it also advances her own action order by another 10%. This is great. So long as you're building enough magic, which, assuming you're running at least one non-A2 Felicia debuffer, should be pretty damn easy. You're getting better break gauge depletion, faster action order, and an increase in break bonus, which, for those unaware, is the amount an enemy increases the percent after break. She's an all-around great multi-target breaker that synergizes really well with debuffers. So, now that we know what these two do, where do they shine? Well, obviously, any team where the main DPS is either light or dark attribute is going to be great. Concentrated Missile Fire Homura Kemi is especially great because of her self-action advance and follow-up attacks. She benefits the most from a debuffer compared to a buffer, and who would have guessed, but these two are best at debuffing. Ultimate Madoka is also a good contender, and a unit that isn't always highly rated but is worth considering is Oracle Ray Oriko Mikuni. She, like these two, attack all enemies, and she's light, essentially maximizing the amount of damage you'll be doing. As for non-DPS units to look out for,
Baldamente fortissimo.
Saike Miki's counter attack also applies a debuff. She's quite possibly the best contender to pair with these two for that alone, and she'll be released on the standard banner come the end of the month. But if you're looking to min-max damage, you can never go wrong with Vampire Fang Kirika Kure. As said before, any debuffer that isn't a non-A2 Felicia should work well with these two as well, and Doppel of Silence Iro Hatsumaki is worth considering due to her attack scaling, and the fact that she's a dark attribute, making her attacker healer buffer hybrid. Now, with all this in mind, are these two worth getting? For Tsukasa, I'd say yes. She's probably the best A0 debuffer in the game, if not tied with Ren Izuzu. And despite the fact that she lacks a DOT option, her defense down nuke is worth considering all on its own. Now, for Tsukuyo, as much as I love her and her animations, I can't in good faith recommend anyone pull her. The reason? Pluvium Magica Madoka exists, and as long as people need their specials filled up, she's the best multi-target breaker you can get, bar none. It's such a shame too. Tsukuyo's mechanics are great, and I love how Tsukasa and her work together, but Tsukasa's best aspect is her special, and well, no better way to get your special back, right? As it stands, these two are great units, and although one is better than the other, if you have both, you might as well run both. This is the team I've been using so far, and I've been finding great success with it. If you like the video, like the video. Leave a comment and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I want to apologize once more about the lack of a Maba U review. TLDR, she's a great buffer in a game full of great buffers. What else is new? I went into more detail in my community post about her, so if you want to read through it, check it out. For now, I'll see you all next time.
続けていくわ。私が相手逃がさない。この調子で攻めるよ。逃げないでよ。本気でいくよ。とどめだ。どうよ。痛い目見るのかな。行くわ。集中砲火。一人で十分。私が相手をする。逃がさない。続けていく。